In this podcast episode, Mark Galeotti discusses the rise to power and the current state of Vladimir Putin. He emphasizes the importance of understanding Putin beyond the typical portrayal of him as a Bond villain. Mark suggests that Putin is not just a powerful figure, but also a scared and limited old man who is influenced by his own paranoia and the information he receives from his inner circle. Mark explains that Putin perceives threats from the West, particularly NATO expansion, as a direct challenge to Russia's security. He believes that Ukraine's desire to join the EU and NATO is seen as a threat by Putin, who views it as an attempt to steal Ukraine from Russia. This perception has influenced Putin's actions, leading to the invasion of Ukraine in 2014. Mark describes Putin's leadership style as authoritarian, where he surrounds himself with loyalists and avoids dissenting voices. He highlights how Putin's system of governance discourages the sharing of bad news or differing opinions, leading to a lack of critical thinking and potential disasters, such as the invasion of Ukraine. Putin's early years in power were marked by economic success and stability, fueled by high oil prices and military modernization. However, as time passed, Putin's leadership became more autocratic, leading to increased paranoia and a reliance on a narrow circle of advisors. Despite facing challenges and setbacks, Putin has managed to maintain control over Russia through a combination of fear and loyalty from his inner circle. Mark speculates on Putin's future and the challenges he may face in retirement. He suggests that Putin may have initially considered stepping down before the invasion of Ukraine, but now faces uncertainty about his succession and legacy. The discussion also touches on Putin's military strategy in Ukraine and the challenges faced by the Russian military. Despite initial successes, the conflict has exposed weaknesses in the Russian military, including outdated equipment and high casualty rates. Putin's handling of the war reflects a mix of strategic miscalculations and a desire to maintain control over the situation. Mark acknowledges Putin's transformative impact on Russia, noting his role in stabilizing the country and enhancing its economic prosperity. However, he also highlights Putin's authoritarian tendencies and the challenges he faces in grooming a successor. The lack of a clear successor and the potential for a political coup within the elite are discussed as factors that could shape Russia's future post-Putin. The discussion also touches on Russia's alliance with China, characterized as a marriage of convenience rather than a deep partnership. While both countries share common interests in challenging the West, Mark points out that China prioritizes its economic ties with the West over its relationship with Russia. The fear of China's growing influence in Russia, particularly in the Far East, is highlighted as a concern for many Russians. Mark emphasizes the need for Russia to rebuild its connections with the West post-Putin, suggesting that a new generation of pragmatic kleptocrats may emerge to bring in rule of law and stability. He sees this as a potential pathway for Russia to navigate its future and move towards a more democratic system in the long run. The importance of reaching out to ordinary Russians and dispelling the narrative that the West hates them is also emphasized as a crucial step in shaping Russia's post-Putin era. The ongoing war in Ukraine is discussed as a significant factor influencing Russia's political landscape. Mark predicts that the war will likely end with a political settlement that leaves Russia in control of some parts of Ukraine. The war's impact on Russia's economy, as well as its relations with the West, is highlighted as a key consideration for the country's future trajectory. Mark critiques Western responses to the war, particularly the banning of Russian cultural products and restrictions on Russian individuals. He argues that such actions are counterproductive and play into Putin's propaganda narrative. He advocates for a more nuanced approach that distinguishes between ordinary Russians and the Russian government, emphasizing the importance of maintaining cultural exchanges and reaching out to the Russian population.